Hi everyone, and welcome back to Disc Golf Valley Tips and Tricks. And today we are going to be doing a walkthrough on Lost Island. Hole number 1. And what do we have in our bag to work with here? If you just happen to be jumping in, finding this video on YouTube, what we are doing is we're in the middle of a series on where we've purchased some discs and we're using some discs that we've acquired naturally as we've done our 3 stars and level ups. So right now we're looking at, also over here in our putter pouch you can see that we've picked up a couple discs from the Season 3 multiplayer, and they're beautiful putters and work great. But we've purchased the Svei, the PD, the Zeus, and the Destiny, and the rest are naturally occurring. You probably have discs that are similar by now if you're taking a look at Lost Island. And so let's get started. So for this first hole, I think we'll go with the Ballista Pro disc here. No attributes, but it's a beautiful, lovely disc. I'm remembering as I put it back in my bag on this new account. I'm really liking it. And I like it for this hole because it comes around, usually makes the shoreline, but doesn't go skipping off into the hills there and out of bounds, like the Ballista Pro skip disc. And so it's a very easy toss in for the birdie. And I don't know that there's anything else I can show you on that hole. That is the play. I mean, if you don't have the Ballista Pro, you should have. You got it on a level up a few courses back. But this other Ballista, I think, will also work. This wind, might put a little bit more Anheuser on it. And it does make it, but not quite as good as the Ballista Pro. Ooh. These putters, while they're beautiful, they're a little bit lighter than the Fuse, so you have to really remember to adjust for them. Let's move on. This one, again, the Ballista Pro disc is a good one to watch out for that wind. Brings you down nicely, but doesn't skip away on you or slide too far. I think that wind took us a little further than normal. For strong winds in that direction, you probably know if you've watched some of my other tutorials or videos, I put the pointer right down on the base rim there and off to the right, and then it usually just comes around. And it doesn't always work. Sometimes for some holes, for some reason, the wind doesn't bring it around as nice, so you have to kind of memorize which holes those are. I'll play it one more time here, maybe in a different wind condition. And see how nicely it just slides into place here. Whew. Still learning these putters. They're beautiful, but they fly a little bit different. All right, this is a great hole for your Zeus or any other distance driver, big skip. And there have been lots of different approaches here that people have demonstrated and I have used in the past, but I've kind of settled on this approach here. Put your pointer right about here and just a little bit of an Anheuser on that, depending on the wind. Have it come around right about there, swing down, get a nice skip, and brings you fairly close, which makes it very easy to get across, if not for your eagle, at least for your birdie. And it's a little difficult to get your eagle here, but let's try it. You always got to try, right? Watch that cameraman. So you have a danger of hitting a leaf there and ending up in the brook. Worked out. Let's try it again here. is that going to hit a tree and into the... Ugh, you don't like it when that happens. Let's try something here. It's a little difficult to go through the trees here, but here's a little trick. If you find yourself in this situation, you can take the 10 speed or something even stronger, doesn't really matter, and just kind of point it over at this bank here, and but maybe a little bit of a hyzer on it, and it will hit the bank and come down with a good shot, usually at the basket. All right, let's just try it one more time, see if we can't get the eagle on it. Let's go with Zeus. We like the Zeus. That's more what you're looking for. Hit this nice path. Come swinging around here. So you have two options. One is just to kind of lay up near the basket, say with your putter, point down and make sure you get over without any problems. But this is so tempting, I just have to go for it. Nope. All right. Lots of different approaches that I see people using for this hole as well when I play the multiplayer. And by the way, if you haven't found out about the multiplayer, especially these days, with the follow disc streaks that the other players show when they play against you, it's a good way to learn what other people are doing and how they're throwing and the lines that they choose. So check it out. There's two ways you can do it. You can play free, or you can purchase a pass, and when you do that, you get all sorts of discs and coins and rewards. But this one, the musket, is the disc of choice. At least this is how I found to be the best. Now, in this wind condition, it's a little bit challenging, but just put a little bit more of a hyzer on it and have that disc come around and just kind of land right about there, and usually it is stopped by a stone. Sometimes goes in, but once you're here, it's just a matter of tossing it in. This particular... Now, the wind is going to affect this, but let's... Yeah. Let's play it again. There's something I want to show you on this. Okay, a little bit more normal wind here. That's where you end up most of the time, is right straight onto the basket. And for some reason, you have to put a little bit more power on it than usual from this angle. I don't know why. Ask a developer. But if you give the normal pull down on this, you're likely going to hit the bottom rim of the basket. So I just put just a tad more. Watch out for the cameraman. And in you go for your birdie. All right, that's all I have to say about that hole. All right, hole number 5. And this is where it becomes a little bit more challenging. You need to go inside the cave here. And without landing in a pond, bring it far enough so that you can see the basket. And the Zeus gets you there, but it is in danger of dropping you in the pond half the time. And when you do that, you end up with a par or worse. I'll show you what I mean. What I usually do is just bring it front and center and down a little bit, and then pull straight back. Maybe just a little bit of an anhyzer, just a hair. Okay, we lucked out that time. We didn't end up in the pond. And from here, the play is don't try and run the basket. If you miss it, you're in another little pond with a out of bounds lost point. So I usually bring it over to about here and pull down to just about here. And that brings you nicely up to the basket. A little layup for a toss in for a birdie. But it doesn't always work out so well for you on this hole. I'll just let you know that. When we did the 3-star on downtown, we did pick up a skip disc here. I'm curious to see what happens if we try that here, the recoil. That might just be the right formula for this hole. If you get a nice little skip, but doesn't bring you all the way down to the pond, so there's no danger of going into the pond, but yet you can come around and see the basket. I like that. I've kind of discovered that the discs that you are awarded when you do a 3-star in a course provide you with the discs that are often exactly what you need to 3-star the next course. So just because you have bought some discs, Zeus or whatever, don't forget about the discs that you have been awarded. Sometimes that's the perfect disc to get you through the next course. And we're seeing that kind of as an example with this skip disc, the recoil. So for here, I might just pull out the Sphe and have it do a little turn for us. And again, I'm not going to bring it down all the way or try and run the basket. I just want to make sure that we don't end up in the water there. So there's a couple of ideas on this hole. If you do have a big skip distance driver, you can try that and see if you can consistently get it to land on dry ground. Then go ahead, by all means, use that. If not, try out that recoil skip. It seems to be good for this hole as well. All right, the next hole. The Zeus does work good on this one. And I usually point it right about here. And this aim works with almost any distance driver with a big skip, and then just pull straight back. And they usually swing around and get a nice bounce. Little kick, and then a clear shot at the basket. And there are times where this will actually go in for you. And that gives you a leg up, a point up. Because of the change of elevation, you want to pull it back just a little bit more than you normally would. And yeah, that's what we're looking for. So I don't know that there's anything else I can show you on that. That is the best play after 2 or 3 years I've been playing this, trying different angles and approaches and lines. This seems to be the best. And like I say, it works with almost any skip, big skip driver. And 72 with the fuse. There's a little danger. You might not make it up the hill. So I might disc up maybe to the PD, since it'll stick the landing when it misses the basket. I'm pretty sure it's going to miss the basket. Put it right about there, and of course we don't pull back all the way, but a little bit more than you normally would for 72 meters. And from here it's usually fairly easy to get this in for your birdie. So even if you miss the basket, that's no problem. Next hole. Okay, the cave with the dinosaur bones. I don't know, is this a T-Rex? When I'm playing the multiplayer and I can see the way other players are doing this, I see all sorts of approaches. And yet the only one that I've really learned and that works fairly consistent for me is to change this to a backhand and go for a musket and put it right about here. And then put about this much of an anhyzer on it. And that usually comes swinging back around and either bounces off this or just misses it and brings you right into play. And that is fairly consistent with a musket. The PD works as well on this. Nice thing about this hole, if you haven't played it in a while, if you're just coming back to Disc Golf Valley, is that if you do miss it, the drop zone is much better now, so you are more likely to end up with a par rather than a bogey. All right, moving on. Here is a fun hole, especially if you have a good distance driver that skips. And since we have one of those, we're going to pull it out of our bag and put your pointer right about here and pull back and give yourself quite an anhyzer. Not all the way, but right about there. And let's see if this makes it across. I think it'll hit the wall and bounce over. Yeah. And for your second shot, use the Zeus again. And oftentimes you're close enough to end up with an eagle on this. But if you miss it like that, you can still come back for a birdie. All right, let's see if we can get the eagle this time. Can't just talk about it and not do it. Well, that was an interesting bounce. Where does that leave us? I think we'll be okay. Take the Zeus again. And it doesn't get much better than that. So there you go, an eagle. All right, last hole. And you're probably going to have to spend a little bit of time on this hole to get this right. But let me show you what I do with the Zeus here. Usually point it down right about here at the beginning of this bridge. And then depending on our wind condition is where I'm going to put the pointer. I think we'll probably put it right about there. And probably should have put a little bit more on it, but I think we'll be okay. Saved by the rock. And here, occasionally you can pop this in the basket, but more likely than not, you're going to end up with a birdie on this one. Let's try it again, Sam. That looks a little better. It doesn't get caught up in the tree here. I think we'll be okay. And I think we can go go for the 10 speed. We're going uphill here, so this is kind of more like what you like to see. No danger of it going off into the ocean. More front and center. And from here, maybe go with the Svay here. Let it hopefully come in for eagle here. All right, there you have our walkthrough of Lost Island. Hope you were able to pick up a few pointers there and help you get ready for your 3-star run. And if you found it helpful, go ahead and give it a like and share the video with others that you know that love this game. If you haven't already done so, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. We've got a lot more videos coming down the pike. All right, we'll see you next time here at Disc Golf Valley Tips and Tricks. So long for today.